This is Showtime Sean Porter.
This is Errol Spin Jr.
Hey everyone, this is Jesse Vargas.
And you're watching True School Sports.
You're watching True School Sports.
And you're watching True School Sports.
Stay tuned.
The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, right now, I'm speaking to you guys. I'm in my hotel in San Antonio. I'm packing up because I gotta check out soon. But I figured while I was checking out, I would use this time to create some content to keep the streets fed on for the fine viewers and subscribers of True School Sports. So I wanted to talk about just this fight with Gervonta Davis. If I walk out the shot, if I walk outside the camera, guys, it's because I'm packing. But I'm still going to talk. So I wanted to talk about this fight with Gervonta Davis and Leo Santa Cruz and just what it really means for the overall career of Tank Davis. Because when we talk about Gervonta Davis, you know, Gervonta Davis is someone that has spoken a long time about becoming this pay-per-view star. And a lot of boxing fans, and myself included, you know, I've criticized him for that in the past, for just talking about being a pay-per-view star so much, which, you know, I'm not knocking it. Being a pay-per-view star has its perks, but I feel like, you know, as a fighter, you should be trying to chase the biggest and best fights. But at the same time, you know, we got to look at how boxing is right now. Like, boxing at this point in time, it needs as many pay-per-view stars as it can get, because you know, the sport doesn't have a ton of them, particularly in America. You know, in America, boxing is really lacking that next pay-per-view star. And you know, luckily for me, I was blessed. I had the honor and the privilege to be in San Antonio. As I told you guys, I'm in my hotel in San Antonio. I was in San Antonio, in the Alamo Dome, for Gervonta Davis versus Leo Santa Cruz. So I think I got a good gauge on, you know, being around people and seeing how people react to that knockout. I think I got a good gauge on, like, how people are absorbing Tank Davis right now. And all I can say about Tank is he won a lot of fans last night. Last night in San Antonio, he won a lot of fans. You know, with him fighting a big Mexican name like Leo Santa Cruz, that's big for him. You know, he's got Mexican fans now, a lot of Mexican fans. And I was looking at his Instagram last night because you know, I am on Instagram a lot. You know, follow me on Instagram at JustKidFromDania. I was on his Instagram and his followers have gone up. He's in the 2 millions now, to 2 million followers, and that's significant because we live in the social media era. I know people, the older generation might slag it off, might say, oh, well, who gives a fuck about social media? But it does matter. You know, it does carry a certain cultural cachet if you do have social media followers. And Tank Davis is one of the only active American fighters, with 2 million, with more than 1 million followers. I think he had like 2.4 million when I checked last time. So that's big for him. And last night, to me, in my opinion, and I'm going to pose this question of this, and you guys can answer it in the comments, is did last night's performance, his knockout performance over Leo Santa Cruz, did it make Gervonta Davis a pay-per-view star? And my answer to that question is I think yes. I think, you know, maybe the numbers won't be as good for this fight. I don't know what the numbers are going to be. I'm not expecting a massive number. But because of how the fight ended, because of the viral highlight knockout that he created, that's going to be a big feather in his cap. And that's going to bring a lot of attention to Gervonta Davis, as it has on social media. That's going to bring a lot of people that are going to be interested in who this guy is. And us as hardcore boxing fans, we live in this like bubble in the YouTube boxing community where we think like this is all there is and this is how boxing fans think, but that's not true. There's lots of casual fight fans. Like for example, like last night when I was in the Alamo Dome, there was a row of people in front of me, and I was talking to them the whole fight, and I didn't really ask them much about their background, but I could tell they were I could tell they were casual fight fans. They go to the local fights in San Antonio and Texas. And I could tell that they're probably like in the business world because they were dressed really nice, and I think I saw one guy pass out a business card. But I was talking to them, right? And, you know, before the fight, they were questioning Tank Davis. During the first couple rounds, they were questioning Tank Davis. And by the time that knockout happened, they were fans. And the reality is this, guys. You know, the hardcore boxing fans are like this much, and the casuals are like this much. So, you know, Gervonta Davis, Floyd Mayweather, Leonard Ellaby, Mayweather Promotions, all parties involved in his career, they're not worried about if we buy the fights, if we watch the fights, because we watch all the fights. We watch all the fucking fights. what they're more concerned about is people that don't tune into boxing, people that are fans of other sports where boxing isn't like everyday life like it is here on True School Sports. They're concerned with winning those people over, and I think in that regard, it was a massive win for Tank last night because, like I told you, that crowd last night was at least 90% Leo Santa Cruz. I was one of the only 10% supporting Gervonta Davis. Supporting our fellow American fighter. And he got the knockout, but it wasn't just the fact that he got a knockout. It was the fashion in which he got the knockout in. It was in devastating fashion. It was in sensational fashion. It was in the kind of fashion that where, like, even if you don't know shit about boxing, like, people are gonna watch the highlight of him knocking out Santa Cruz, and they're not gonna know that Santa Cruz was a couple weight classes apart from Davis. They're not gonna know that they're not gonna say like Gervonta Davis was cherry picking Leo Santa Cruz and bringing him up in weight. All they're gonna see is that Gervonta Davis knocked that motherfucker out and he splattered on the canvas. That's what they're gonna see, and that's gonna raise attention on Gervonta Davis. That's gonna build his profile on Gervonta Davis, and it's gonna push him in the right direction towards being that pay-per-view star that Floyd Mayweather wants him to become, and that boxing, whether you like it or not, needs pay-per-view stars because look. Canelo don't even fight on pay-per-view anymore. Canelo's a DAZN fighter, and Canelo, he's corny anyway, so he don't even count. You got him, and then the guys that are big names like your Earl Spencers, your Terrence Crawford, these guys are big names, but they're not pay-per-view stars by themselves. They can't sell out an arena by themselves. You see what I'm saying? Gervonta Davis already had a certain amount of fans before this fight, but this fight is a fight that I think if this fight for him with Leo Santa Cruz is what I believe the Arturo Gatti fight was to Floyd Mayweather. It was that star-making performance. Because if you guys remember, Floyd Mayweather before Arturo Gatti, he wasn't exactly, turning in great ratings. That was his first pay-per-view. I think it did about 325,000 or something like that, somewhere in that range. And then he fought a whole slew of pay-per-views after that. But it got him off the mark. It got him started. It was a good building block towards being that pay-per-view star. You see what I'm saying? So I mean, and to be fair to Floyd and to be fair to Tank, that was a different era. Like that was a much different era back in when Floyd fought Gotti. The internet wasn't like it is now. There wasn't no like Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or all these social media platforms. YouTube, I don't even think was around, and if they were in 2005 or 2004, whenever he fought Gotti, it was in its very early stages. So, this is a big win for Gervonta Davis. I don't think people quite understand that. And when I say big win, I'm not talking about like big in the sense of he beat this great fighter at his best weight in Leo Santa Cruz. I'm not talking from a boxing standpoint. So if you're listening to me talk right now, and if you're listening to the words coming out of my mouth as me talking from a boxing standpoint, then you need to adjust your ears because I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about Gervonta Tank Davis, the brand. Gervonta Tank Davis, the future pay-per-view star. That in that regard, he was an exceptional win last night, and I think he is on the route to becoming a pay-per-view star. And whether we like it or not, whether you like it or not, whether I personally, I'm a Gervonta Davis fan. I want to see him do well. That's why I'm so hard on him. That's why I have a segment on my channel called the Gervonta Davis Witness Protection Program, because I don't want to see these fights no more against Santa Cruz and these guys. As a boxing fan, I want to see the same fights you guys want to see. But I understand why they're happening. I understand the process. I understand what Ellaby, I understand what Floyd and the Miller Promotions is doing. But as a boxing fan, I would like to see him fight the Teofimo Lopez's, him fight the Devin Haney's, him fight the Ryan Garcias, all these big names in the division. So that's what it is. But one thing he's got over Haney, one thing he's got over Lopez, and one thing he's got over Lomachenko and Ryan Garcia is that I don't want to say he's an established pay-per-view star, but now not only has he fought that level, but more importantly, he's delivered at that level. And when you fight at that level and you deliver in the way he did, and I said this in my live, he's an American fighter fighting in the great city of San Antonio, in the Alamo Dome, a place which is notorious for American fighters going to like Adrian Broner against Maidana, he got whooped. Pernell Whitaker against Chavez, he got robbed. Things don't normally go well for American fighters against a Mexican fighter in the Alamo Dome in San Antonio because, we're basically near Mexico. It's a very Mexican culture down here, and 90% of the crowd, Listen to what I'm telling you guys. 90% of that crowd in the Alamo Dome, albeit it wasn't a huge crowd at the Alamo Dome, but 90% of that crowd at the Alamo Dome was rooting for Leo Santa Cruz to win that fight. And it's never that's never an easy thing to do when you're a guy like Gervonta Tank Davis, who is used to fighting. You know, sometimes he's fighting at home, he's fighting in Barclays Center where he gets big ovations. It was a different experience for him, and he fought a guy in Leo Santa Cruz, who, yes, I will acknowledge he is smaller. We knew that he was gonna beat the shit out of him. I knew that, and anybody with a brain knew that. But Leo came to fight, and you gotta give credit to Leo for coming to fight. You know, he did. I had the fight 3-2 before he got decapitated, and Gervonta Davis caught a case and folded him up like the blue steel chair, like The Rock, like Chris Jericho. You know, I thought Leo fought. He exceeded my expectations. You know, he really did, because I thought the minute he came out and started to fight Gervonta Davis, he was gonna get fucked up. And he did it. He stood there. I think it was the third or fourth round. He stood there. He was trading with him. And he was holding his own. So much respect to Leo Santa Cruz. I actually, you know, I've never been a big Leo Santa Cruz guy, but you know, I come away with that fight with a newfound respect for Leo Santa Cruz. So massive shouts out to Leo Santa Cruz. Is Gervonta Davis the one? I think he's trending in that direction. He might be the one. He might be that next American pay-per-view star. Because there's other big names in boxing, like you got your Canelos, you got Joshua, but these guys are from other countries. I'm talking about the American fighter, because that's been the one thing that's been lacking in boxing is we have so much talent here in America, but boxing and being a star in boxing is so much more than just talent. It's so much more than just talent of being a great fighter. You know, to be a superstar in boxing, you gotta have a great story. You gotta have something about you that resonates with people outside the ring. And you know, I feel like Gervonta Davis in and out the ring, he resonates with a lot of people. He's got that cultural cachet going for him. So, you know, I think Gervonta Davis is if he keeps going how he's going, and as long as he stays focused, like the way people talked about Broner, you know, remember, you know how people talk about Broner and they say, oh well, Adrian Broner, if he was focused, he would do this and he would do that. That's how I feel like. That's how I actually am with Gervonta Davis. I feel like as long as he stays focused, that kid can be anybody at 130 and 135. He's that damn good. He's that damn good. He is. You know, and I feel like the better opposition they put in front of him, the more of his tools you're gonna see. You know, we get into him fighting Teofimo Lopez in another video, which I will. But for the time being, I think he's a pay-per-view star. I think a star was born last night. I was happy I got to witness it in person. And just God bless the kid. You know, God bless Gervonta Davis. Shout out to him. May his career continue to have much more success, because, like I said, he's trying to step into a void and fill the shoes that have not been filled in quite some time here in America. You know, America is a big country. We have a lot of entertainment options, and boxing is not even in the top 5 most popular sports in America. If we're keeping it 100, you know, we got baseball, we got basketball, we got the NHL, we got American football, or the NFL as we call it here in America. We have college sports, college basketball, and college American football are huge here in America. And then even the UFC, you could say is bigger than boxing. So maybe boxing is the 7th or 8th most popular sport. So to really capture the attention, to really capture the attention of the American public, you gotta really do something special to just capture the attention. But to keep that attention is an even more difficult thing. And I think Gervonta Davis took a step in the right direction in doing that. And in doing that, he's going to put himself in position to be in big, you know, multi-million-dollar fights. We're talking about 8-figure paydays, I think, in the future for Gervonta Davis. And just fair play to him, man. I'm happy for him, because I understand how hard it is to really make it in boxing when you're an American fighter, you know. And and people are going to say, well, he fought a smaller guy, but you don't understand. He fought a smaller guy in San Antonio, Texas. Go look at the history. Don't take my word for it. Go look at the fucking history. Go look at the history of American fighters that have gone not just to San Antonio, Texas, but Texas in general. They go to Houston. Some of these guys get robbed. They go to San Antonio. Some of these guys get robbed. And then even if they don't get robbed, you're still fighting tough Mexican fighters. These Mexican fighters don't fuck around. You know, like Canelo said, in Mexico we don't fuck around, and it's true. These Mexican fighters come to fight. So, with that being said, that's why I view the win as a good win for him, because I was there. I understand how hostile the environment was for Tank. And he deserves all the credit in the world for what he did last night, because it was a star-making performance. So it's a win for boxing. If you're a boxing fan and you want to see the sport continue to grow, you know, you should look at that fight Don't be happy that the fact that Gervonta can cherry pick the guy. I'm not happy about that either. I think it is a cherry. I think it was a cherry pick in my humble opinion. Leo came to fight. He did what he could, but at the end of the day, there's weight classes for a reason. But at the same time, Joe Blow walking down Main Street in Texas and in Florida and fucking New York City, he doesn't care about none of that. He doesn't care about, oh, this guy came up from 126 to 130 or wherever, 122, wherever he came up from, to 130 to fight this guy, and he got knocked out. No, all they're gonna do is they're gonna go on, they're gonna be in the chair with a bag of chips and some French fries in the other hand and a freaking 16-ounce Coca-Cola beverage product, and they're gonna see that this dude, this young, hungry lion, this young freaking monster from Baltimore, Maryland, went into that ring and he knocked that motherfucker out on Leo Santa Cruz. And that's what it was. It was easy for him. So, yes, is he the next pay-per-view star? In the words of Floyd Mayweather, abso-fucking-lutely, he is the next pay-per-view star. So, I'm going to leave it at that. You guys take care. I'm going to finish my packing. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.
González, le mando un saludo a todos los fans, bendiciones, cuídense.